right? That's what we are covering. What are the steps? I laid out the steps, and those are the steps we are following. In case of sickness, what are we supposed to do? We refined them. We said, what is the first thing? What is the first thing in case of sickness? We are dealing with the sick now. Okay, yes, we said we have to pray first. Are we together? Yes, before we do anything, we pray. Number 2, we ascertain the cause. On ascertaining the cause, that's where we also said you have to understand the true nature of the disease. And that is not an easy work, and it doesn't need us to be, we have to firm up for that, for us to be able to understand. And we said why. We said medically, 75 to 85% is on history taking, right? The examinations, they only take 10%. The x-rays and the test is just 5%. So the greater part of it is on that aspect of history. If we do well on that, then we are good to go. So ascertain the cause. Number 2. Number 3, we said what? Apply what? We are now applying the healthy lifestyle. That is attending to the New Start principles. Are we together? Yes. So we said these New Start principles, they are for preventative and they are also for therapeutic. Meaning to say, when someone is actually sick, we have to use those as a prescription. And I think yesterday we covered 3 because of our time, but you can go through them. Now seeing that if a person has got this condition, what are we going to do? Let me pause there just for a moment. What is the best remedy for acid reflux? What is the best remedy for acid reflux? Fasting? Yes. Digestive work? All right. It's chewing your food. Any food, whether healthy or unhealthy, it has got the potential to raise your acid in the stomach. Whether it's healthy or it's unhealthy. So chewing becomes important. So when you are dealing with someone who has got challenges with acid reflux, tell them to slow down and to chew their food. Are we together? So now what is that? It's on the diet. So it's not only on the preventative side, but it's all actually you have to make sure you prescribe those as we mentioned. So you have to know now, in this particular case, where am I going to really emphasize on the New Start principle? Are we together? Which ones are very key in this particular condition that this person is suffering with? Are we on the same platform there? That was our 3rd step. What was the 4th step? You now apply what? The natural treatments. That's on the then part, right? On the natural treatments, we mentioned about the hydrotherapy, but we said this hydrotherapy is coming from the water principle. Are we together? There's the internal and external. We said on massage, you can do your massages. There are some times where you may need to do some enemas or colonics, right? But we are discouraged from excessive colonics. Are we together? Where we have to do it more often. But when there is a need, you can be able to do that. We also said there can be CBT, that's a cognitive behavior therapy, where you have to go with a person through the mental what. Don't be afraid of these big terms. Ministry of Healing just puts it across mind cure. And you know, okay, what is depression? What is depression? How do you define depression? It's when you are depressed, right? Do you know that when you are discontent, when there's a feeling of discontentness, that's the first step of depression. Anxiety, discontent, distrust. There are just people who are just distrustful. That's the first steps of depression. According to the Ministry of Healing, it tells us that's depression. Are we together? So go and read it. Start the mind cure. I still remember when I had a patient that was in Switzerland. Actually, that patient actually died here in Zimbabwe. She had an accident. But why did she came to Zimbabwe? She came for a holiday, but she said, I want to see you. Right? But when before I saw her, actually I was supposed to see her tomorrow, like tomorrow. I was in Harare, she was in Bulawayo. Then she had an accident where she had, that was Paxton. I think she had Paxton in the other condition. They were so terrible, she was in hospital much of her time. So we would discuss, and one of the things that we were going through together was that she didn't want to hear about God. She was angry with God because of the situations she was going through. These conditions are so bad. Yeah, so they are so bad when you have them. It just makes you like different to other people. So we would chat and discuss, and I pleaded with her, yes, I know you are angry with God, but I want to share with you a certain book. Then I shared with her chapter 17. I copied it and pasted it. I want you to read chapter 18, The Mind Cure. And she said, she just commented, this chapter just changed my life. Right? It literally changed her life. There's a book that was mentioned by Brother Owen. We know the Eden Life, the book. There is a cookbook, right? That soya mayonnaise that he did, it's actually in that particular book. So it's a Back to Eden cookbook. Back to Eden cookbook. Yeah, it's not big. It's just a small one. Okay, I got those. That person said, I want to buy you books. I just want to buy you books. Then she bought the Back to Eden in that cookbook. But she was very angry with God. She didn't want to hear about God because of the mercy that she's saying, God has taken me into this. But the book Ministry of Healing, chapter 18, changed their life altogether. And I still remember one time, I just woke up in the evening and I just said, let me just send her a message in the middle of the night. And she responded, he said, you are like it's like you've been sent by God. I was actually depressed at this time. And you see, so in this particular work, like we say, why prayer is important. God just inspires you to do this, right? So what I'm saying here is you can have that CBT, that's cognitive behavior therapy, but don't be blown up by the word. Just go back in a Ministry of Healing. It has got a chapter, Mind Cure, right? So how do you deal with a person in this particular condition, and how do you do it? Then we said after the natural treatments, what else can you do? Then that's where we have got botanicals or herbal support. Are we together? Yeah. So it's not a must for everyone that has got a condition. You are going to say, we are going to do this. No. The moment you move with the steps, you actually assess how this person is doing. Is there need for me to add this and that? Then, okay, we need the fourth one. Let's do this. Okay. All right. So number 5, we mentioned about herbal support or botanicals. Some call them adaptogens. It's just trying to give it a name, but adaptogen, it's a group of it's not really like all herbs are adaptogens. Are we together? But some prefer to give it a better name. Are we together? All right. Then after that, that's number 5, sorry, we said what? Did we mention something else? We said something about supplementation, right? There may be need for supplementation. It can be a vitamin or a mineral supplementation. There are times when that can be needful. Are we together? Depending on the case you are dealing with. And we said there's also time where emergencies like surgeries or those procedures, they can be necessary. Are we together? Let me share with you something. We had some patients that had cancer, and there were two. They both had got lung cancer. They both had breast cancer and lung cancer. After 3 weeks, they went back to their country. They were checked, and they were free. The other one was free from the lung cancer, but the other one, she was still struggling with lung cancer. They both came the same time, given the same treatment protocols. But the other one, it was fine. The other one did not really recover well. Yes, she had improved some things, but the cancer had not really gone. So what ended up happening is after that program, she then now went for the chemo. And you know what happened? She did not suffer from any of the side effects of chemo. Are you seeing it? Yes. So it can be used as a precursor to a chemo, or it can be used as a post-management for chemo. So it's not a denial of faith that there are cases where that might be necessary. Are we together? Yes. So that's what we are mentioning, and we mentioned about the life-saving interventions. With the best of the knowledge that God has given you, you have to practice that which is best for you to save what? Life. So today we are addressing number what? 5. Number 5, we said it's about what? It's about what? Herbal support. Are we together? Yes. Or we are looking at the botanical side of things. All right. So I think I shared an 8 series that I've prepared that you can go over. So I'm going to pick from the lesson 4, lesson 5, and lesson 6 in what we are doing as an introduction to practical that we would want to do. But before I move on, please let's just review the massage. I want the five moves or techniques that we find under the Swedish massage. All right, number 1, we said it's the what? Efla Raj. Are we together? Okay, we said make sure your hand is in an L shape, and these are gliding movements. Are we together? Yes, we have got a lot of Efla Raj techniques, but the mother is Efla Raj. Are we together? Okay, we said another move is called what? Petrissage. That's where we've got the kneading. You are now in a C form, right? Where you are pulling a tissue and you are separating it from the bone structure. You squeeze it. Are we together? Yes. So it's called that one. It's a petrissage. All right. What else? The other one was what? Sorry. Friction. All right. So friction. You have the wrist has to be firm. Right? The wrist has to be firm, and there should be minimum oil, because we want that friction. So we have our palm friction, knuckle friction, digital friction, cross fiber friction. There are quite many, but they all fall under friction. Are we together? The 4th one is what? We now have tapotments or percussion. We say tapotments, they are designed to help the internal organs, and your wrist should be what? Should be flexible. Are we together? Okay. Then the last one we said is a what? Vibration. Okay, that is a tapotment. So tapotment, we have got pecking, we have got hacking, we have got cupping, right? Those are some of the forms of the tapotments. Vibration. So sometimes you see them as 4, right? Vibration and compression can be put on petrissage, right? But it can stand as its own, where you have got vibration on its own. So those are the 5. Are we together? Okay, thank you. Let's get into our botanical study. All right. Herbal remedies and herb or a herb, depending if you are using American English, it's an herb, right? If it's British, it's an herb. These are used for what? For culinary purposes, medicinal purposes. Are we together? All right. The term herb collectively. So in our study, we are going to use the word herb for both spices, edible weed, as well as the herbs themselves. So that's what's going to constitute our word to say what? Herb. Are we together? So we are here. I'm presenting lesson 4. So I want you to go back and do lesson 1. They are very short, these PowerPoints, right? I think you saw them. Did you manage to see them on the group? All right, it's okay. So let's move. I think the purpose of the herbs for seasoning, they are for vitamins and minerals, phytochemicals. All right. But what do we want to do now? We want to look at what we call a systematic approach to herbal therapy. It's not a guesswork. Okay, so you don't need to claim. You just have to have these things on your fingertips. I hope others who are not here, if they miss this part, I'm not sure what we are going to do. But, so a systematic approach for herbal therapy, or for us to understand these particular herbs that we have, our kitchen herbs, the herbs in the garden, the herbs in our fields, the herbs in our forest. We have got two groups that we group these herbs into. And what principle do we use to group them? There are herbs that affect life processes. And there are herbs that affect the body structures. Those are the two things you have to understand. Okay, let's take it slowly. The first group, we are saying it affects what? Life processes. It's either it's going to make it more faster or it's going to slow it down. We want to stimulate it, or we want to soothe it. So, for example, someone who is weak, what do we want to do? Someone who has got chronic fatigue, what do we want to do? We want to stimulate, we want to increase. Are we together? So those ones, we are saying they are affecting the life process. They are affecting the processes. But on the other hand, we have those that affect the body structure. For example, someone is not having a bowel movement. So what we would want to do is we want to help the colony to be able to release the stool. So what we have, for example, these, we call them what? The flaxseed. What else do you give for someone who's constipated? Okay, what they do, they work with the walls of the colony. They influence the walls of the colony for it to be able to do what? To release. So we say they move in the edges of the colon so that they can do what? They can push. So what they've done, they've not affected a process, like to say it has speeded it up or what, but it has affected the structure so that it can move. Are we together? Okay. Now, within these two groupings, we have got two types of herbs that affect the life processes. And we have got two types of the herbs that affect the body structures. Is anyone lost there? Okay. A little bit lost. Who is a little bit lost here? Yes. Where are you lost? Okay. Where exactly are you lost? You know, you have to describe. I'm lost in a bush. You are lost where? Exactly. You were not listening. Okay. For the sake that he was not listening, we'll give him grace, right? Okay. So we are saying, how many groups do we have? Two groups. But within each group, we have got two types. Are we together? Okay. We have got two families that we have. But within these two families, there is a mother and a father. Are you getting it? Okay. Now, so let's see the two grouping, the two types. So under the first group, we say let's look at the one that affects the life processes or the functions or the body, the processes. The other one affects the body structure. So under those that affect the body processes or the functions, we have what we call the aromatics. Right? The aromatics, they speed up or stimulate. So aroma, what does an aroma mean? It means it's something that gives you what? A fragrance. Right? So this group, that's where we have got things that have got a fragrance, things that are hotty and spicy. That's where you find your cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is under aromatics. Did you know that? Yes. So that's why we are saying, okay, let's give cayenne pepper for blood circulation. What is it doing? It's stimulating to increase the life processes, a certain life process. So you see, you don't need to guess. No, you have to just know, what do you want to achieve here? We want to stimulate, right? Number two, we said number one, on this group of that affects the life processes, we have got the aromatics, We've got the aromatics. We have what we call the demouscent. Demouscent. DEMULCENT. Okay, let me just pause there. Probably I may not have time to get there, or I may forget. So on the demouscent, these they soothe. Right? We said the aromatics, they do what? They stimulate or speed up. The demouscents, they soothe, calm, or they slow down. This one is stimulating or what? Speeding up. This is slowing down, soothing, and calming. But if we use a demouscent externally, it is no longer a demouscent, it's an emollient. That's EMO, double LIENT. That's when you are using, it's a demouscent, but you have used it externally. So it means for it to be a demouscent, it has to be used internally. All right. So are we good to go on the group that affect body processes or functions? Anyone lost in a round heart? Okay. We are life processes, body functions or processes. Then the other one is body structure. So under body structure, we have those that we call astringent. Astringent. So astringent, they tighten or tone. We want to give tone. Fibroids, we want to shrink them. We have to tighten. Are we together? Your polyps, all your cysts, your growths in the body, we want to shrink them. Are we together? So what do we need there? We need the astringents. So we are going to see how do you test for an astringent, how do you test for an aromatic. We are going to come. But I want to first to understand how we group these. Are we together? Okay. Then, so it tones, tightens, or contracts. That's a astringent. All right. Then we have what we call betas. Betas on that which affect the body structures. I was trying to look for betas here. Maybe we'll check one. I think betas. BITTERS. Those are betas. So betas, what do? They loosen, they cleanse. They loosen, they cleanse. So sometimes a bitter herb, an astringent can be bitter. But how do you separate? Usually an astringent, it packs in the mouth. If you take an astringent, it's almost like you want to spit it out because it's pulling your mouth. It's like pulling your mouth, and there's a lot of saliva. That is there in the what? In the mouth. But also the other clear separation is usually an astringent, if it's used for a longer time, it has a constipating effect. Because remember, we said it contracts, it tones. Are we together? So you now need to know, okay, if I'm using an astringent, how long should I use it? And I should also use it in combination with what? Anyone lost on how we group these herbs. So all herbs, they fall into these groups. Anyone lost so far? All right, I don't see anyone lost. Right, I think we are good to go. So I think I've mentioned aromatics speed up and stimulate cell function. These notes, we have them, right? Okay, this includes all spicy and fragrant herbs. The spices, the fragrant herbs that have got a fragrant. Demulcents, the other word for demulcents, we call them mucilaginous. They've got a mucilage. Mucilage. You remember? Mucus, mucilage. Okay, so they calm down, they soothe cell activity. It includes your high fiber things. I don't know, here in Malawi, do you have this detox fiber? That there's something that once got prominence, the detox fiber, those, yeah. So the high fiber, the water absorbing, the slippery herbs, they fall under the demulcents or the mucilaginous. Are we together? Yes, that was the high fiber, your water absorbing, your slippery herbs. So it means slippery elm or red, your psyllium husk, because it's more fiber. Are we together? Yes, the water absorbing, they go under this particular group. Then for the astringent, we said it contracts, it tones, it tightens. Are we together? Okay, so these are herbs which makes your lips pucker when they are put in your mouth. Usually you find them in your roots and your back. Okay. All right. So then the bitters, they loosens, relaxes tissue structure. This includes your bitter herbs that make you want to spit them out when you put them on your tongue. All right. How do they work? Let me, because these notes you have them, let me skip to the next slide where we will have to identify them. All right, let me just give you the examples. Okay, let's cover the examples in the next slide so that we manage our time. That's your lesson 5. All right. Did it give you the screen? Is it there? All right. Classification. All right. So on aromatics, the active constituent, they are your volatile oils. That's why we say all your spicy, your fragrant herbs, right? They're quite plenty there. So how do you identify them? Let me see where. All right. Method of identifying the properties that it has. I think I've given you to say what's contributing to this. These are the properties that it has. But I want us to go on how do we be able to identify them. Then I'll give you some other resource materials so that you on your time you can go through and study. All right, so how do you identify aromatics? Method, that, because this we are going to do practically. Are we together? You will be the ones telling me, is it an aromatic, is it a bitter, is it a mucilaginous, or it's a what? That is you who is going to. So now I'm going to tell you how do we identify. For aromatics, crush and smell carefully. But take note, it's not always that it has got a pleasant fragrant. Are we together? Here we are not saying a pleasant. No. We are saying when you crush and smell, it has got a fragrant. But that fragrant cannot be pleasant all the time. Some are very pleasant. You have got your frankincense, your myrrh. They are very good, right? They can have this. Some of your herbs, you realize that they've got that particular. Okay, maybe let me see if it's on this slide or okay, it's on this slide. It's fine. I wanted to say something. Most of them are hot and spicy. That's your what? Aromatics. E.g., what are the hot and spicy? Cayenne pepper. Even your garlic is hot. That's why we say if you are, yes, your ginger is hot. So it's in what? It's an aromatic. So what do we say aromatics do? They speed up Are we together? Yes, they speed up. Okay, what are the examples? Your peppermints, your basils, they've got fragrance when you crush and you smell. Are we together? So they deal with the digestive tract and assimilation to expel gas. So what we are saying, you may not know what it is, but if you do this test, you can actually use it because you know, okay, this is a bitter herb, so it is able to deal with this condition. Are we together? Yes. In the world, we have less than 2% of the herbs that are poisonous. It's not true. Most of the things we are told that you die when you take herbs, it's not true. Most of these animals, they don't go for these medications. They just live there in the bundu. When it gets an injury, nature just sorts itself. And if you want to see if this, I can eat this herb or do this to this herb, look at that. When you get to the tree, check if there are other animals or insects that visits it. Then it means it does not kill. Or even if sometimes you see the roots, they will make some openings on the roots. It means they are also eating the what? The root. Are we together? All right. So that's for identifying your aromatics. But for aromatics, we've got two types of aromatics. We have the stimulants and we've got the nervines. You realize that's why under this group, you will see that you have got your chamomiles within the aromatics. But a chamomile, how it stimulates the nervous system. Are we together? When someone is not sleeping well, when we give chamomile, we are stimulating the nervous system for it to rest. Are you getting it? So we have the stimulants. So the stimulants, they deal with the digestion and the circulatory. Those that are your gingers, right? Do you know this is for those that are usually ginger? On prolonged, ginger is not a culinary herb, right? The same for cinnamon. Do we know that? Culinary means used in day-to-day cooking. So you use this for therapeutic purpose. For example, a maximum of 10 days, you discontinue. Right? You discontinue, then you can reintroduce a bit later. But for this works as a digestive aid when it's not used for a longer time. So if someone is having challenges with absorption, you give a thumb-sized ginger. It's also very rich in vitamin B6 that is needed with our stomach. So when you give this is under aromatics, but it's going to stimulate what? The digestive system. So we are saying the stimulants, they will help with the digestive, they will also help with the circulatory. That's why you've got your cayenne pepper, that's where you've got your garlic. I'm just trying to use the common ones. We are going to discover, like I've said, you are going to tell me in which category does this what fit in. Are we together? Okay. That's for the aromatics, the stimulants, the nervines. They soothe and calm the nerves. That's the CNS, the central nervous system. That's where you've got your chamomiles, you've got even this one, and if you crush it, it has got a smell, right? Rosemary. So what does it help? It helps as a nervine. Remember, someone is having mental, there's dementia, there's what? It helps to stimulate. Even for people who have stroked and have lost their speech, if there's one thing that is also good in restoring that, it's rosemary. Give rosemary tea. Right? It helps to restore what? Speech. It's a very difficult thing. There's need of speech therapy and what have you. But with this consistently and applying the other laws of health, with your rosemary, you can improve the mental function. You can actually improve the speech. Are we together? All right. So that's on the aromatics. All right. Astringents. Astringents, how do you test for them? We said they've got a binding test. A binding test. I'm trying to look for something here that we... All right, maybe we're going to do it when we go outside. So it has got a binding. And there's a lot of saliva that forms in your what? In your mouth. Right? And we said sometimes they can be bitter, but how do you separate? Usually these ones, they've got a constipating what? A constipating effect, right? If it's used for the longest of time. All right, effects on the system, usually it works on the digestive, it works on the urinary, it works on the circulatory system again. That's where these work. Examples of those, do you know the silver terminalia? It's unfortunate that I'm not sure of the Malawian names. That's where an interpreter was very much needed to say, okay, if it's in English, it's this, then it's in our local language. In Zim, I know this. I tell you, they are what? Right? Yeah, because we are also moving away of only talking of the exotics. When we are saying herb, we mean everything. When the children of Israel were in the wilderness, what were they using? Every herb which was there. Right? So when we are talking about this, we don't limit it to and I have seen as sometimes when people start to talk about trees, it's as if you've gone too far. But do you know that these herbs are also, these herbs that we are saying here, they are herbs. They are actually in the forest in the native countries, where they are native there. They are just in the bush. As these, our trees are also in the bush. Are we together? Yes. So, one of it, I was talking to a certain pharmacist. She was telling me that there's no powerful astringent even in the pharmaceutical world that is compared to silver terminalia. Right? I've put the pictures in the presentation. You can check and see if you have it here in Malawi, but it's very common. You can get it. It's not easy. It's not difficult. So I've listed there. I put the English name, but I also try to send you something where you can check the botanical name. So the botanical name, you can't lose it. You check a botanical name, you look in your local language if you have it. But we use the one that it's for Southern Africa, but the research was actually done in Zimbabwe. There's a place in Zimbabwe where they did the research, but that document is used. I've seen it to be used in the Southern African part. All right, here okay, thank you. Here we have one of it. There's a tree that is here, right? It's in the Brastigius family. You see, there are two trees which are like here, but they are different. Just behind this, right? There are two trees which are alike, but they are different. So we are going to just take the bark, but that when you chew, I want you to tell me what it is, right? So maybe we can just have a small hole, just a small hole, yes. Just we can try to test the taste. Okay, your amaranth, your chickweed, your witch hazel, your red raspberry leaf, your white oak, your bayberry, your hostel, your mango. Red raspberry is very good for nourishing the uterus. Ladies, are we there? Okay, it's very good for nourishing the what? The uterus. And it also prepares for contractions. Do you know that? Yes, it usually 33 weeks, in the third trimester, around 33 weeks, preparing for delivery, start to take your raspberry, you are good to go. No problems with what? With your contractions. Remember we said astringents. They're also good for construct. So they are used for delivery. Right? It's one of the powerful herbs that you can use. Your hostel, your bayberry, your mango leaf, they do that. There's quite a lot. You tell me when you do the research yourself. Bitter herbs. So under bitter herbs, we have got 4 types. We have laxative, right? We have got diuretics. Your diuretics are the ones that makes you want to go to the toilet. Are we together? Yes, or you release what? Water. We have what you call the saponines. The saponines from soap. So that means they form. When you add them to water, they form soap. You know plants like that. Okay. And under the aloe family, aloe, people are used to say aloe vera. Aloe vera is a certain type of an aloe. The group is called aloes. So we have got aloe ferox, the one that has got thorns on all part of it. That's the most potent one. That one is very potent. If you give anyone with any condition, that one is very powerful. Right? It's called aloe ferox. The common one that is sportish is called aloe vera. But the one that I want to talk about, it's the one that if you take it, you put it in water, it forms a soap. That is a pager. You know what it means, pager? It pages, right? It means it makes you to go to the loo like no man's business, right? It makes how do you see it? It is a saponine. If you add in water, it makes the water milky as well as a bit soapish. All right. Then we have got the alkaloids. The alkaloids, these ones are difficult to determine because they've got these particular alkaloids in it. But your knobwood, do you know knobwood? Your cayenne pepper also falls under the alkaloids. Cayenne pepper, your knobwood, right? These are very potent. We are going to talk about these. Don't worry. Method of identification, they have a bitter taste. If you taste them, they've got a bitter taste. All right. Laxative herbs. We have got the bulking. Those your psyllium husk, they make your stool to bulk and they push it out. Your lubricant, right? It lubricates it. It can stimulate. That's where your aloe vera comes in, right? Your alfalfa, cascara sagranda, your golden seal. It stimulates. So you will see sometimes this herb on that group or this herb on that group, it's fine. It's not an issue. So we have those that can cross. No problem with that. So these ones usually are specifically for the bowels, the laxatives. Are we together? For bowel movements, they are quite good. Then here, there's on the slide, there's a mix-up of a picture there on the devil's claw. That's not the devil's claw. The picture there is not a devil's claw. That is called a tribulus terrestris for men, or we call it land caltrops. Do you have it in Malawi? Land caltrops. The one that's got a yellow leaf, but it runs, right? It produces a yellow leaf. If you see on devil's claw there, that is not a devil's claw. That is a tribulus terrestris. The picture got mixed up there. The devil's claw has got a purple leaf. Right, it has got a thorny, which is it 4 or 5? It has got a thorny, right, which is I think about 4, right? That is a powerful herb, right? It just runs. I think the elderly used to make soap with that one, right? They would to bath with it and make their hair as shampoo. Is that common in Malawi? Ooh, that one is very good. Arthritis, give that to a person with arthritis. It makes wonders. Okay, that's how powerful God has created these things. But I was talking about tribulus terrestris or the land caltrops. Very good for male issues. Okay, those males are complaining of erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, name them. Give them tribulus terrestris or land caltrops. That I just mentioned it because it's on the picture there. All right, those are aloes. There are different types. Your slippery elm, there are quite many. Your diuretics, these increase your urine flow. Do you know the powerful diuretic? If you want to cleanse your kidneys, you want to release excess fluid. We talked about edema yesterday when we were doing hydrotherapy. So what do you use to remove that water that has been retained in the body? You now use what? Diuretics, right? What are the powerful diuretics that we know? Corn silk, Z. Meyers, right? Corn silk, you know corn silk? That's a powerful diuretic. Your watermelon seeds, watermelon itself is a diuretic. Watermelon seed is even powerful. right? Those are diuretics. There is a certain man that was having blocked urine, and they were in the rurals there. The sister called, what do we do? Give corn silk, and the problem was okay. So that's how important it is. What other diuretics do you know? What other diuretics do you know? I've given you some few examples. Your buchu, do you know buchu? Your juniper berries, right? The juniper berries, they all are also diuretics, right? Parsley is also a diuretic. I think parsley is common, right? I think I had parsley. Parsley is also a diuretic. I think this is parsley. All right. That's it increases. So they cleanse the vascular system, your kidneys, and your liver. Your corn silk, parsley, horsetail. Then there's what we call batoka plum, right? This one is very good for kidneys, right? The one that has got, they are black. The fruit is black when it's ripe. But it's found in the, it's just found in the different, sorry? But people eat it. It's like a plum, but it's small. Yes, that one is a very good example of take the leaves, chew them. They are bitter. Yes, that's a bitter. So, but the root is very good for kidneys, right? There in Matebele they call it umtunduluka, if I'm not mistaken. In the Shonas they call it mununguru. Okay, something like that. The root, but it's not very generous with the roots. It may have a long taproot, right? But that is a powerful diuretic for your kidney issues. That is very good. Remember I mentioned about the kidney failures one, the juniper berries, even the uva-us. You know the uva-us is also a diuretic, right? There are quite plenty of these that you can get. Then this one I know, okay, you are not on PowerPoint. But if you look there on the picture, there's what I called the Bohavia diffuser. This you should know it. It grows along people's homes. Bohavia diffuser. Right? This is powerful. For your ulcer, it's accumulation of fluid in the what? In the abdominal cavity. Right? Bohavia diffuser is one of the best. Also, we are using Bohavia diffuser in combination with the other lung herb for lung cancer. Right? It also does well. This Bohavia diffuser. Your parsley, your celery. Celery is also a diuretic. For your saponines, we said frothy when mixed with water. In reality, these are soaps. Your baobab leaf, your soap bush, your devil's claw, your violet trees. So what I'm going to do is I'll look for that PDF, which I was saying it has got some of the botanical names, so that you look for them in your native language. Are we together? All right. Then, the alkaloids I've mentioned, mucilaginous. Okay, so on the mucilaginous, we said the other word for mucilaginous is what? The demulcent, right? Okay, so how do you check for them? Crush and few. They are jelly-like and they have jelly-like characteristics. They often swells when water is added. Sweet, slippery mouthfeel, makes slippery solutions and often swell in water. Examples, your okra. Do you know that okra is very potent and is very good for diabetes mellitus? And this, you call it, what do you call it here? But it's tricky to eat it. The English name is called what? The prickly pear. Is it correct? You know the prickly pear? That's sold in food lovers and something like that. Do you know the plant? It's almost like a cactus. It's in the cactus family, but it has got a fruit. Just take that leaf, remove the green water stuff, put it in water, give to a diabetic, you are good to go. So it falls under what? Your mucilaginous. So your okra, your devil's claw, your slippery elm, your soap bush, your baobab leaf, the baobab leaf. I saw it's in where? I think it's Mozambique, where there's a lot of baobabs. You have a lot? Okay. Yes, baobab is very good. Even someone yesterday was asking me about what were you using in COVID. Baobab is very powerful. That I can give for myself. There's a camp that I attended, and almost everyone there, it was during COVID. We had a camp during COVID. And I think the people we came with a certain bag there. And eventually it was 1% down the line, till almost everyone got that bag. And what we were using there, it was baobab. Baobab was one of it, and the other things that I'll tell you. But when I got back home, right, after attending to people, I just started feeling funny. And I was really down. I was sleeping on the sun the whole day. For me, I'd never thought of eating. It was just 24 hours on the sun, right? But I was only surviving on the baobab powder. I would drink a lot of, nothing else that I took. I only took baobab and I recovered. Because of the vitamin C that's in it, it's very good to really help the cell, right, for it to function. So baobab, the fruit itself, the leaf, and it's one of the things that is very high in vitamin C, right? Ranked with this one. Let me show you. I don't know if do you eat the tree for this? The fruit. What do you call it? It's sourish, right? That's very potent in vitamin C. And the leaf. I think the leaf is also a bit sourish of some sort. Yes, a bit sourish of some sort. This is also potent. Do you know there's another tree on astringents that is similar to this, but it's called a bauhinia. It yields purple leaves, some pinkish. Do you know that? That's very good for fibroids. It's an astringent, right? It's called a bauhinia. Okay, the other name is what? I'll think how you finish the name. Okay, but it's in the bauhinia. It's in the bauhinia, right? But this one is very good. Okay, if we have time, we'll talk about it. But I wanted to show you the fruit. It's also very good, very high in vitamin C. You can make porridge with it. You don't need to be buying it. Perhaps you don't have lemon. You can make use of this, right? In your water to drink, in your porridges, you are good to go there. That's okay. Yes, that's very fine. That's why you grew up very strong. Now we don't like it and we are weaklings. Okay, so you realize that on this PowerPoint, you will notice that the devil's thorn or the vessel is there with a purple leaf. All right, so you see this is different from that. So I said there was a mix-up of the picture. So you can take note of that. The okra is there. Just chop you will call it what? Lady finger. Right? Put it in water, let it sit, let the person drink. That's very good. Right? Nutritive, there are those that are there for the nutritive part. Your food falls under that. Then we have other superfoods. What are some of these superfoods? Alpha. Alpha is very rich. Alpha, yes, it's very rich. What else is very rich? Moringa. Moringa is very, very rich. What else is also very rich? All right. Neem. Okay. Spirulina. Yes. What else is very rich? Okay. The green food that we made here. Remember blending the juice, extracting that. That's very rich. Are we together? Yes. So the green foods, they are very rich. When you make them you extract, you dry them, make into a powder, just add in someone who is especially with a weakened immune system. For those that have got compromised immune systems, you realize that they go thin. There's undesirable weight loss, so you have to boost them. with a bit of nutrition. All right. So that's on identification. So can we be lost on how we can identify? All right, let's just do a quick one because we are going to do the exercise. The aromatics, how do we identify them? Crush, smell, and they should have a fragrance. Astringents, if you taste, they have a packing effect where there's a lot of saliva in your mouth. The bitters, they are bitter and you do also want to spit them, right? Because they're very bitter. What about the demulcents or the mucilaginous? You crush, you feel they are jelly-like. Are we together? Okay. Or they can swell if you put them in water. Then we talked about the nutritive, right? Generally, your food stuffs that you eat. Can we be lost as we go out? All right. I think the other notes are clear. Methods of herbal preparation and dosages, I think I've put those. You can be able to see what is an infusion, a decoction mixture. I've just put the simple ones, right? I've not put the other form, how you make these things, not to burden you. But the most ones, you would come across an infusion, you will come across a decoction, you come across an infusion decoction mixture. Right? When you combine an infusion and a decoction, what is the difference between an infusion and a decoction? So decoct, infuse. What's the difference? Yes. So infusion, you boil the water, you put your herb inside, you add the water, you allow it to sit. Usually it's for the flowers, the leaves, those we don't want to destroy them. And there are other herbs where you are not supposed to boil at all. Do you know that herb? It's catnip. Yes, never boil catnip. Always make an infusion. Are we together? Yes, and do not also exceed 30 minutes when you are making an infusion. Possibly there are toxic elements within that herb. When you infuse it for a longest time, that's when it may have the probability of starting to extract those toxic what? So you should not exceed 30 minutes, right? I've given it the different times there. Then for the decoction, you boil with the mixture. Usually is for the tough material, your bark, your roots, or even the fruit, the cones. You know, for cypress, do you know those cones are very, very potent? The cones. Yes, those cones are very important. So sometimes we have to use the cones, right? So you can also make a decoction there. So you boil, that is a decoction. So what is a decoction? Infusion decoction mixture. And how do you prepare it? We said, I hope you were listening to what an infusion is and what so if you want to make an infusion decoction, what do? You boil the one that is supposed to be decocted. Then, because it's boiling, after you have boiled, you remove from it, you put that which is to be infused. That's an infusion decoction mixture. You realize, especially for women, sometimes you do a combination of herbs, right? Others are roots. And you have red raspberry, which is a leaf. So there, if you want to combine, you don't just say, I'm going to put everything there. You boil. You boil, right? Those that are the roots and the barks. You set them aside. You then now add air. And that is, which is supposed to, in most cases, it will be what? Your red raspberry. So anything that is leafy, flowery, most of them have to be infused. But when you process them to powders, right, it becomes easy. You just boil, you make an infusion. When you process your root or your powder, your root into a powder or your bark into a powder, You just now need to boil and you add it. Because we have increased the surface what? The surface area. So this is the powder for the mtoa. This tree. Yeah. So when you make the powder to this, you can make capsules. You capsulate it, you can make pills from it. Right? Is this one. We call it the Diplorhynchus. That's the botanical name. It's the root. So we are going to do in yes. Then you understand that lesson. There's no healing unless something is cut. So you are happy that I'm healed and it's bleeding there. Telling you whenever a restoration has happened, Christ, his life has been exchanged for you. Are we together? That's a very objective lesson. So if you love God, you will not be continually breaking the laws of health, saying, there are many herbs. You know what it means. Okay. Thank you for that. Then on the next presentation, I'd put the things you need to consider. Right? I hope you are going to go through those. My time will not allow me, where I've highlighted about the... I want to think that slide is what? All right. It was number 6, 7. All right, so the notes in administering the herbs, right? I think the other one is for the dosages and what. So you go and read, it's very clear. If there be any other question, we can always ask on the group, even there in Zimbabwe. WhatsApp, we can respond, right? But go read the slides. Don't skip. Just say, I've known the herbs. No, they are precautionary measures. I've highlighted them. They are so clear. Go and read. Then we are good to go. Okay. Now, we are closing this. We want to go out. There are other things that you remember. We are saying this is a work that God has given us, but we have to be continually developing. Are we together? So what are some of the resources you can use? There is what we call Medscape. Medscape is for any healthy practitioner. The doctors use Medscape. Medscape is for what? Medscape, any herb, any drug that is used, that has been researched, is there. How the dosage is, how it works, where it works, the drug interactions. Remember, we are not going to attend people that are only that are free from any other medications, and we are not there to stop the medication. But you need to know, as I'm giving, what other medication do they have? You type in the herb that you want to give. Then you go and check where it's written drug interaction. Are we together? Then you check if the drugs which this person is taking has got an interaction there. Are we together? Yeah, so that you also know. There's a case of this when this person gave this lady, she was having high blood pressure, and the high blood pressure was not going down. She was taking this other medication. Unfortunately, the herbs that he had recommended, they contraindicate. Right? They interact with this drug. It's either they intensify it, or they make it slower down. For example, when someone is on blood thinners, what are your blood thinners? Your aspirin, right? If you give garlic or turmeric, it's a double dose. So it means it's going to go very low. So you need to know, okay, which medication is this? So you can use that. So Medscape is for every practitioner. If you go type garlic there, if you go type turmeric there, if you go type any herb, as long as it has been researched, it's there. Are we together? We said it's called what? Medscape. So these I'm giving you because we don't want people to say, oh, these medical missionaries, hey, they don't know what they are doing. That's not it. So that one, you don't study everything. What you know, if you meet a case, okay, I want to give a patient garlic, what other conditions do you have? What medications are you taking? You go do your basic study. Are we together? It doesn't take you many minutes. Just few minutes you would have known, okay, this interacts with what? Okay. Then the other one you can try out is called herb path. Let's write herb path. I'm hearing that these days it's not there online. So what I'm going to do, already in my phone I have it. I'm going to share you a link where you can click. I told some people, then they said they are not finding it. This was not designed by Christians. So as you go there, you notice it's a very good one. Let me pick. Which herb do you want me to pick for you? All right. Let me do this. Send it to you. I hope I'll find the link very quickly. Okay. So when you type, you can check for diseases. You can check for the herb. Let me just try to go there and illustrate this. Herb path. Let me try to, okay. I will try to get you the link. All right, for example, which herb do you want me to use as an example? All right, this one can be a bit, because this is an English thing, right? So for the local ones, I will give you, I will try to search for you some that you can use. Maybe let's just try to use these common ones or the English ones. Oh, there we have got sour soup, right? Okay. So what's the other name for sour soup? Graviola. Are we together? Yes. So if you check sour soup, if it's not there, you go for graviola, right? So it's called graviola. Okay. So if I search for graviola here, I want you. So what it does, it says graviola cures. It then highlights super effective. They will be in red, meaning to say these are the main things, right? For here it says anal cancer. It has got most forms of cancer. That's why we use graviola for cancer. So it has got breast cancer, cervical cancer, esophageal cancer. It's listed cancers. Highly effective. So this is super effective, highly effective, effective. Then it tells you the action, nutrients that are there, taste, sweet, sour. Parts used, leaves, fruits, leaves, seeds, roots, bark. Side effects, risk factors of and cautions of graviola. Right? Avoid the use during pregnancy. It may cause a miscarriage or a premature labor. Not safe if you are breastfeeding mother. High doses may cause nausea and vomiting. Avoid if you are suffering from blood pressure disorder. Do not take if suffering from Parkinson's disease. Prolonged intake of sour soup may even lead to Parkinson's disease. Avoid the use if suffering from any heart problem. Then you go on it can give you a bit of, depending on the researches that have been done on it. Do we see how balanced the thing now is? You are now being knowledgeable. You are not just going to give in darkness. I would say just, no. You now know, you weigh out to say, okay, so what does it mean? I'm dealing with a person like what? So these are the cautions. I can use it in this. I can use it in that. Are we together? All right. So that's the example I've just picked for you on that. So I'll share with you. I'll just try to get then I connect you to that. Then the other one I was talking about, I was saying the research done on our indigenous. Right, it's written South Africa Journal of Botany, but this was done in one of the cities in Zimbabwe. It's called Gokwe District. So you see, they did. It's an extensive study. It has got some. It's not all, right? But I'm giving you a baseline where you can see. So where can I study and see some of the things, right? For example, here, let me look for this one. We're saying what? You call it, what do you call this one in Malawi? Let me see if it's here. Okay, we call it Mutowa. Is there Mutowa here? All right, there's no Mutowa on this one. Yeah, the milky one. All right, I found it here. It's written. All right, it's there. It's here. It's Diplorhynchus Condoli capon. That's a botanical name. Botanical names, you can check it. If you want to be sure that this is the thing I'm looking, go for a botanical name. Are we together? Yes. Mutowa. Here, habit. It's a tree. Bark. Parts to be used. It's a bark. Preparation: handful of chopped bark added to boiling water, and half cup taken at any time of the day. Uses: erectile dysfunction and infertility. Used recorded in literature. Used for pneumonia, diarrhea, abdominal pains, cough, infertility, measles, pneumonia, venereal disease, bilharzia, and malaria. All right. So you have somewhere to start, right? Okay. That's okay. So I think we are good to go. I will share with you these baselines where you can start from. Questions before we just do an exercise of, I would have added more notes for you from our experience, what we have used, what we have been doing, and we can be able to identify. So any questions so far? On any questions? We want to close this one. So I've shared you that PDF for the. All right. Any questions, comments before we just go out? Just do an exercise of identifying. I think we'll end there on identifying. Sorry? No question. All right. That's fine. So may God bless you and be with you. Don't be sangomas out there just to go say, go take this. Right? We have come from stage 1 up to where we are now. Are we together? That is the right formula to follow. And you are lucky. I don't teach to this extent when I'm doing this class. I have learned it the hard way. We taught a certain class for a 1-month program. What they only learned, they just took the herbs and they were saying, we want to open herbal shops. Is that our work? So usually I don't, but I've seen that you have taken it in the right perspective. So you will not misuse it, right? Okay, so we now only teach 6-month students this class. Right. The extensive class of this, we only teach the students that have stayed longer because we know their head is now straight. They can take it in the right what? Because we have people who are selling these things in buses. Brother Owen was telling me to tell the other guy, sit down. He was selling these things in a bus. Yeah, what Ellen White says, you should have herbs. Actually in a bus. No, and he was making money out of that. So there is a counterfeit that is going on. We have to be careful. Let's be rooted in what we believe. And I think it will help us. Thank you. If there'll be no other question, we'll just have just a quick walk to identify. Then we are done. We are not going to discuss a bit. So I think I will try to get this link for you to be able to. Did you locate the Medscape? It's an app, right? But it's an online app because you have to check anything that, even it's a drug, if it's a herb, for Medscape. The Medscape, you can find it. What I heard that is not really there these days is the herb bath. Yeah, but already because on my phone it was saved a long back. So I can try to get a link there and just send so that you can click. All right. Thank you. If there be no other question, we would want to pray for us as we go out. Then we are done.
All right, shall we pray? Our loving Father in heaven, we praise your holy name, dear Lord, for such a wonderful time that we have had. We thank you, Father God, for the knowledge that has been imparted unto each one of us. We pray that, Lord, you grant us all wisdom, and that as we go back and leave, may we practice that which we have learned. We ask and pray for your blessings upon Clemence and his family, for all that they have imparted to us. May you bless them and meet them at their point of need. Be with us as we are now going for a break. For we have asked and leave all this in the precious name of your Son, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.